Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Team Tuesday this week with Lakshmi Rama. Hi Lakshmi, welcome back.
Hi Vasco, it's great to be here.
Absolutely. And Team Tuesday is all about teams, but first, what's the book that most influenced you as a Scrum Master and why?
Yeah, I think it's a Scrum Master and really looking into coaching more. I'd say the book that really shaped my understanding is Turn the Ship Around by David Marquet.
What was it in that book that shaped your understanding of what being a Scrum Master and a coach meant?
So as a Scrum Master and coach, we talk a lot about building high-performing teams, right? And that's my passion, is to help teams get to that high-performing state by building safety and really encouraging teams to have the right conversations. So this book really took it to the next level and helped me understand what it means to build a high-performing organization, which I think maybe if you're not an experienced coach and you're not used to looking at the organizational level and the organizational structure and what you need to, help build to be able to get the organization to that point, you can miss the boat, right? You can focus so much on the teams and you forget that really we need to be performing at this level at the whole organization. So this book really highlights that, and it talks a lot about intent-based leadership, where as a leader, your role is to relay intent and talk about, this is what we want to achieve and why, and help teams really get to that point where they feel really engaged, they feel aligned to the purpose, they understand your purpose very clearly, and they're able to take that sense of ownership and come up with the right solutions. So I thought it was just beautifully written and narrated. And I love the fact that it's simple, short stories, so it was not overwhelming to read. And at the end of every chapter, the author really asks these really powerful questions, which leave you thinking about, what insights did I actually take away from listening to this story? And how can I reflect on my leadership team and the style of my organization? And what can I really help the organization with to be able to get to this point, right? So it was just really powerful for me.
Absolutely. It's a great book. And we have David Marquet as one of the interviewees, one of the guests here on the podcast. I'll put the link on the show notes so that people can go and listen to that story from himself.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely. All right, now we turn our attention to the teams and how sometimes they become their own worst enemies. So we want to hear a story of a team. Tell us a little bit about the context, big project, small project, big team, small team, whatever that context was. But then walk us through that step, that process of developing the behavior or anti-pattern that ultimately led to problems.
That's a great question. So I'd say for me, it was, I'm going to go back about 10 to 12 years when I was working with this organization that built geospatial applications. As someone that was a new Scrum Master, my role was really to help them see the value in operating in a team and really seeing the unit of the team and getting out of the mindset of being individual performers. So I'd say some of the anti-patterns I saw were obviously because this was a new team and they didn't see the value in a lot of these events and they wanted to just focus on what was assigned to them. And they started coming late to stand-ups. There was one particular developer that he had an issue with getting up early and would show up at noon to work every day. And this was a small organization that didn't have a lot of rules. So maybe that was a problem to begin with. But we even were flexible to change the stand-up time. And, out of 5 days, he would show up, probably 2 days to the stand-up on time. So that showed a lack of respect for the rest of the team, which was not a good sign. this team also was not used to thinking about other team roles in the team, right? So they were developers that really didn't think about what it means to be a tester or someone that's reviewing your work and having empathy for them and making sure that quality was thought about from the beginning. So they ended up working to the last minute, not caring about quality, which really created a lot of issues with delivery with this team. And the team also couldn't learn how to create space for the things that are unknown and would commit to too much. So there just were a lot of things where day to day, we were actually, instead of building trust, we were breaking trust within the team as well as with our leadership team because we were not delivering good quality. And that the team was not able to get out of their own way, right? And they were committing to too much. And as a result, we just couldn't get into that sustainable pace and win our leadership team over. And that just created some bad patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about this aspect of the team's understanding, hopefully, that trust is earned from stakeholders. Very often, one of the things that I hear from teams, and I just heard it this week, it's only Tuesday today, and I've already heard it, that, we need to deliver this, and, we don't understand the requirements, but we need to commit to a date. And I'm like, guys, but we can always deliver on time if we just start delivering regularly. And people jump the regular delivery part, the early and often part of the Agile Manifesto, and go straight to the predictable. But the predictable comes from reliably being able to deliver. And that's such a simple aspect that builds trust with the stakeholders and the teams around us.
You're absolutely right, because we are always in our own way sometimes. Of not earning that trust. And then yet we get really upset that we're not trusted, but we're not taking the actions to build the trust. And that's why we can't expect, customers and the leadership team to trust us because we never put ourselves in that position.
Yeah. The other aspect, of course, is to be able to say no. Because obviously, if we say yes to everything, we eventually end up failing and lose that trust.
Yeah, definitely some valuable lessons there. And it's just really interesting when that shift happens, when you really understand as a team that you only know so much as an individual developer. And once you start really thinking about the team as your unit, and you start working with the team on delivering to the right outcomes, the conversations change, the dynamics change. But it's really interesting to see how those patterns develop. And it starts with the smallest things. It's always the little things, right, that build trust eventually.
Absolutely. Think of the team as your unit. I love that phrase. I will definitely steal it. Thank you for that, Lakshmi.
You're welcome.
Tuesday is Team Day here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. But tomorrow we talk about something that goes beyond the work we do with the teams. We will talk about how to lead change and what our guests have learned from leading and participating in change programs during their career. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.